Solo Leveling, Volume 8 by Chugong. The narrative plunges into the aftermath of the Dragon King's catastrophic arrival. Canada lies devastated, a testament to the Monarch of Destruction's power. Atop the smoldering ruins, the Dragon King Antares fumes. He had sensed the Shadow Monarch, Jinwoo Sung, reveal his presence, anticipating an immediate confrontation. Yet Jinwoo vanished, leaving Antares aggravated and cautious, forced to advance his 10 million-strong army of chaos, slowly wary of a trap. A feeble missile assault by human forces only fuels his annoyance, revealing his true, colossal dragon form. Woven from destruction itself, he incinerates the fighter jets with a single breath and unleashes a defiant roar across the scarred landscape, challenging the absent Shadow Monarch. Miles away, within the silent, ethereal castle constructed by his loyal soldier Baru, Jinwoo Sung opens his eyes, the Dragon King's roar echoing in his senses. It is time. His marshals, the stoic Bellion, the eager Baru, and the honorable Igris, implore him not to face the overwhelming enemy forces alone. Jinwoo, however, recalls Ashbourne's words, remembering the original Shadow Monarch's appreciation for his tendency to face challenges head-on, regardless of the odds. Seeing the unshakable resolve, mirroring their former masters, the marshals cease their protests and pledge their loyalty anew. Preparing for the final confrontation, Jinwoo crushes his cell phone, severing his last link to his family to avoid faltering. He retrieves the Kamish's wrath daggers, wrapping his hands tightly, the familiar ritual calming his racing heart. His mind sharp, his body thrumming with power, he is ready. Meanwhile, in Seoul, Jin Chul-woo, now burdened with the presidency of the Hunters Association, watches the grim news reports from America. Recalling his grandfather's advice on judging situations by the news anchors, strained composure, despair washes over him. He knows the scale of the threat, the futility of conventional resistance. He prays that Jinwoo, their only hope, hasn't abandoned them. Suddenly, his eyes lock onto the screen. Amidst the chaos on the American Eastern Front, a lone figure appears. Jinwoo materializes just in time to save a terrified U.S. pilot from ravenous insectoid magic beasts. The pilot, recognizing the legendary hunter, flees at Jinwoo's sharp command. Facing the encroaching swarm, Jinwoo unleashes Kamish's wrath, his movements a blur, slicing through dozens of creatures effortlessly. Then, with a quiet command that resonates with chilling authority, arise. The shadows of the fallen bugs stir, black steam rising from them. They are reborn, stronger than they were in life, the first recruits in Jinwoo's counteroffensive. The newly formed Bug Shadow soldiers charge into the fray, Jinwoo leading the assault. A whirlwind of destruction amongst the orcs and ogres. His daggers, imbued with black aura, carve through enemies and earth alike. A towering giant, its stone pillar weapons stained with blood, looms over him. Jinwoo, moving with impossible speed, appears between its legs, cleanly severing an ankle. The colossal beast crashes down, crushing more monsters beneath its weight as the bug shadows swarm and consume its face. Arise. The faceless giant shadow rises, retrieves its pillar, and swings it devastatingly into the fleeing ranks of chaos. Jinwoo's army swells with new orc and ogre shadows, the tide of blackness spreading across the battlefield. He speaks in the monarch's tongue, mocking the enemy's dawning fear. Overhead, hundreds of wyverns and dragonfolk riders descend. Jinwoo meets their charge, stretching out his hands and invoking ruler's authority. The entire aerial squadron is slammed into the ground by an invisible force, the impact shaking the earth. He then leaps onto a surviving dragon, attempting a fire breath attack, instantly killing it and commanding, "Arise." The dragon, wyverns, and dragonfolk rise as his soldiers. The Dragon King, Antares, finally detects Jinwoo's location on the Eastern Front. He initially hesitates, perplexed by the absence of Jinwoo's main shadow army. The Transfiguration Monarch confirms Jinwoo fights alone, increasing Antares' suspicion of a trap. However, witnessing his own dragon soldiers being turned into shadows forces his hand. Leaving the Transfiguration Monarch behind to guard against potential ambushes, Antares and his elite ancient dragon guard step through gates toward the Eastern Front. The main army of destruction finally mobilized. Simultaneously, on the Western Front, the U.S. Army faces annihilation, just as the remaining soldiers prepare for a suicidal last stand against advancing bug monsters. Thomas Andre, the Goliath, arrives with the elite scavenger guild. Thomas easily dispatches the bugs, his presence rallying the surviving soldiers. But among the approaching horde of monstrous humanoids stands the Iron Body Monarch, the king of monstrous humanoids. A tense standoff ensues, the monarch recognizing Thomas from his near-fatal encounter with the Fang Monarch. As the Iron Body Monarch prepares to attack, Thomas smirks. From his shadow erupts the true Shadow Army, 130,000 strong, led by Grand Marshal Bellion and Marshal Igris. Fang, now a general-rank shadow, emerges, casting a spell that blocks the monarch's telepathic communication. Enraged by the deception and Fang's mocking grin, the Iron Body Monarch attacks, only to be intercepted by Baru. The two clash, Baru transforming and matching the monarch's strength. Back on the Eastern Front, Antares arrives. Unleashing his breath of destruction, Jinwoo dodges, the blast annihilating soldiers from both sides. Antares summons his draconic legions. He sneers at Jinwoo's seemingly meager, newly raised shadow army, numbering only a few thousand. Jinwoo, however, orders his small force to charge the million-strong army of destruction. Antares realizes too late that the shadow soldiers are merely decoys, disintegrating under dragonfire instead of regenerating. He senses Jinwoo fleeing west via his shadow network. Believing he has Jinwoo cornered, Antares opens a gate and pursues. He emerges on the Western Front to face the true trap. Jinwoo stands before the combined might of his original 130,000 soldiers and the tens of thousands more extracted from the Western Horde, now numbering close to 200,000. Antares believes he understands the lore. Jinwoo sacrificed the Western Front to consolidate his forces, but the Transfiguration Monarch, linked to Antares, opens countless gates, flooding the battlefield with hundreds of thousands of Chaos soldiers. Believing Jinwoo utterly defeated and cornered, Antares taunts him, "You've lost." Jinwoo, however, returns the confident smile. "Got you." He recalls his entire army into his shadow, leaving himself seemingly defenseless. As Antares and the Chaos Army surge forward, Jinwoo unleashes the Dragon's Fear skill, amplified by his boundless mana. The shockwave paralyzes the entire enemy army, save for the Dragon King himself. In that instant of stunned silence, Jinwoo grabs the shocked Antares' arm. "You're coming with me." A circle of shadow expands, swallowing both monarchs. They reappear instantly in the desolate, mana-rich landscape of Japan, near Baru's White Castle, the true battlefield. Chosen for its resilience, isolated from his armies, his communication blocked, Antares finds himself surrounded by the full might of the Shadow Army. He realizes the depth of Jinwoo's strategy, lying him here alone. Antares attempts diplomacy, offering Jinwoo lordship over Earth and alliance against the rulers. Jinwoo scoffs, "Yeah, right," sensing the barely concealed killing intent. Diplomacy failed. Antares reveals his true form, a colossal dragon of molten lava and destructive fire. The final battle commences. Jinwoo summons Kazel, dodging Antares' immense power and fire breath. He lands blows with Kamisha's wrath, amplified by Black Aura, but they fail to scratch the Dragon King's nigh impenetrable scales. Antares retaliates. Kazel sacrifices himself, shielding Jinwoo, but disintegrating into ash. Grief-stricken, Jinwoo attacks fiercely, but finds his daggers ineffective. He realizes he needs more power. Tapping into the power of death itself, Jinwoo manifests a gigantic astral body of pure shadow, rivaling Antares in size. The two titans clash in an earth-shattering battle, trading devastating blows that scar the land. Jinwoo lands heavy punches, but the dragon's defenses are immense. Antares bites and claws, inflicting grievous wounds. Jinwoo rips out the dragon's tongue, enduring fiery retaliation. The battle is brutal, a seesaw of destruction. Eventually, Jinwoo realizes his astral form drains too much mana. Antares exploits this, impaling Jinwoo's side. As Antares prepares a final breath of destruction, Jinwoo regenerates his lost arm, shoves it into the Dragon King's maw, and unleashes a final, cataclysmic burst of power. Both revert to their humanoid forms. Heavily wounded and exhausted, they clash again, sword against dagger. One of Jinwoo's Kamisha's Wrath daggers shatters. Antares stabs Jinwoo through the stomach. Jinwoo retaliates, stabbing Antares through the chest with his father's dagger and unleashing mutilation. Antares, though grievously wounded, fights back with terrifying speed, eventually stabbing Jinwoo through his black heart. As Antares, now in a dragonfolk hybrid form, prepares to tear Jinwoo apart, the sky rips open. Countless gates appear, unleashing the silver legions of the rulers. Antares realizes Jinwoo used the immense energy of their battle to create fissures in space, allowing the rulers to intervene. Jinwoo confirms he requested the rulers use the Cup of Reincarnation to reset time before this battle, allowing him to fight the monarchs personally. His goal achieved, albeit at great cost. Jinwoo flips off the stunned Dragon King as the rulers, led by the brightest fragment of luminosity, descend and impale Antares, ending the Monarch of Destruction. In the quiet aftermath, ash falls like snow. The rulers acknowledge Jinwoo's victory. Jinwoo, however, makes an unprecedented request. Use the Cup of Reincarnation again. He wants to rewind time 10 years, back before the gates appeared, and fight the monarchs entirely within the gap between dimensions, preventing all the loss of life on Earth. The rulers are shocked, warning him of the risks. The cup is weak, his victory won't be remembered. Failure means absolute destruction. Jinwoo, thinking of his family, President Go, Adam White, his father, and countless others, remains resolute. Reverse time. The rulers agree. Jinwoo bids farewell to the shadow soldiers who won't exist in the past timeline, like greed. The cup is overturned, and the world dissolves in light. Jinwoo awakens as a 14-year-old boy in his old bedroom. He hears his mother and sister, Jina. He sees his father, Jinwoo Sung, alive and well, overcome with emotion, but stealing his resolve. He embraces this second chance. He spends a week enjoying peaceful school days, befriending the shy Youngil-oh, easily dominating playground games with his retained skills, knowing he must soon depart. He then enters the gap between dimensions. For 27 years, which passes 2 years on Earth, he wages a solitary war against the monarchs and their armies, meticulously hunting them down, recording his experiences in a journal. He grows immensely powerful, his army swelling to nearly 10 million. Finally, only Antares remains. Jinwoo confronts the Dragon King for the true final battle. Light and darkness collide one last time. Jinwoo emerges victorious. He returns to Earth, adjusting his physical age back to his late teens. He encounters the ruler's envoy, confirms his desire to stay on Earth despite the potential instability his power causes, and declines their offer to relocate him. He begins reintegrating into a world without gates, hunters, or monsters. He becomes a police detective known as the Phantom. For his uncanny ability to appear and disappear and his incredible arrest rate, subtly using his powers for justice, he guides a rookie detective, Sewon Lee. He solves the tragic case of Jinae Seo, delivering justice to her abusive adoptive father in the realm of eternal rest and fulfilling her last wish. He reunites with Jinho Yu, now a successful game company CEO, who proposes to Jina. Jinwoo attends university, reconnects with Hae-in Cha, now a star track athlete, and they eventually marry and have a son, Suho. Jinchul-woo, through accidental contact with Jinwoo, regains his memories of the previous timeline and becomes chief of police, supporting Jinwoo discreetly. Jinwoo visits Gun-hee-go on his deathbed, restoring his memories before Go passes away peacefully. Suho begins manifesting powers inherited from both parents. Concerned about the impact on Suho's ability to live normally, Jinwoo temporarily seals his powers and memories related to the Shadow Soldiers, much to Baru's sorrow. Life seems peaceful. However, Jinwoo knows his presence attracts cosmic threats. One Christmas Eve, while on a date with Hae-in, he senses an approaching danger. Blue fog monsters emerging from rifts in space, drawn to his power. Telling Hae-in he'll be back soon, he turns to face the new invaders alone, summoning his unseen army with a familiar command: arise. The Shadow Monarch's duty continues. If you enjoyed this book breakdown, please consider liking this video and subscribing to get notified when we post our next book.